The sun beat down on the three travelers. Backtracking their path was depressing work for the merchant Kurt. Oh, wasting time was wasting profit, he thought. But he was prepared for this. Any venture he made, there was always a buffer in case of an incident. But not multiple. Julia did pull a small bounty for getting that succubus, enough to cover a trip back to the wagon to collect his other goods. He even dipped into his paltry funds to collect a few tools he thought might be helpful. Hopefully, he could turn this trip around. First the goods, and then the curse on his shoulder. Their horses kicked small stones as they descended the stone-strewn slopes. A long line of boulders pinned the road in. The memory of their last trip through here crept into his spine. Plodding along was the mercenary Grant, his head held down, his mood sunken. Shame of the fight with the succubus burrowed in his mind. "Is this where the Minotaur attacked?" Julia the demon hunter asked. "Yeah, just up ahead," Kurt replied. A moment later, they arrived. Blocking the path was the remains of the Minotaur and Kurt's old, reliable bow. It looked like something had been chewing on both the corpses, the Minotaur and his horse. Their bones lay bare. Kurt reached up and touched the curse on his shoulder. Haste replaced any caution he had, and he rushed to the cart. The wood felt rotten and broke away at his touch, and the goods? Anything that had been bound in fabric had rotted away. A black ooze stuck to every surface. All gone. No. The only things that had survived was what was encased in glass canisters. Julia scrambled through them for the holy water, oblivious to the ooze under her boots. A smile filled her face as she found her treasure. All lost, Kurt lamented. But it shouldn't have rotted this much yet, he thought. His eyes bounced between the spoiled goods and the bones of the Minotaur. There was a connection between them, but he couldn't see it. Not until he heard a baying of a sheep. Or was it a lion's growl? It was a strange sound. "Trouble," Julia alerted them. Drawing her daggers as if from nowhere, she faced down a shadow crawling over the boulders. Sharp claws gripped the stony surface as two heads peeked over. Seeing one that looked like a goat caused the merchant to relax, until he saw the lion. Even a blundering fool like him knew what it was when a serpent slithered around the other two heads. A chimera. The three travelers climbed onto their horse and took off as a vile green gas escaped from the lion's mouth. "Get some distance," Julia commanded. Jumping high, the chimera soared over them and landed on the road ahead. They found themselves trapped between the lingering gas behind and the beast ahead, while boulders pinned them in from all sides. Ah, a rock and a hard place for sure. Welcome back to Mythical Phylogenies, aspiring adventurers. I'm your guide, Jason Diorgos. Today our path is blocked by the dangerous chimera. Let's sit for a bit and see what makes such a horrifying beast. The chimera is a horror of Greek mythology. It is said to have both a lion and a goat's head in the front, while a serpent is its tail. In total, it has 3 heads to face you with. That alone would not make the chimera such a fearsome foe. No, that would barely even get on your radar, right, adventurer? What makes it so dangerous is the poison it spews. It will corrode and kill anyone who breathes it. A few do use fire, but they will be similar in concept overall. The first thing we'll need to sort out is the 3 heads. What is going on here? Is it like the Cerberus we encountered before? Sure, I could say that is the case, but that wouldn't be any fun. Nor do I think that is what is happening here. With the Cerberus, the 3 heads are the same, but not so with the chimera. Each head is very different and serves a different purpose. I mentioned the eye placement with the Cyclops and the Minotaurs, and each head has a different set of eyes. The goat head has the usual widespread eyes you would find in their species. It lets them see in nearly 360 degrees at once, while the lion head has the 2 forward-facing eyes needed for accuracy and depth perception of a predator. With those 2 different heads, it only has one blind spot, underneath. It can't see under its belly, but the 3rd head can. The snake head has the long, slender, and flexible body which can coil and slither around, be it under the chimera's body, into narrow areas, or around prey. This head can be a little bit difficult. So how do the three heads operate? Only one head actually needs the brain, but the eyes in all three do operate. So where's the brain, then? Which head is the safest for it? Let's look at what each one does and figure out from there. The lion head attacks and is the most dangerous. I would not want the brain there. It's too easy to damage when attacking. That leaves the snake head in the rear and the goat head up front, which is better. The snake head would be safest in battle, but that head is used to wrap around things as it coils and will sneak into tight corners. It's also much smaller. In doing so, it will be in danger. That does leave the goat head. That head has no fangs to bite, but it does have horns for defense. A mighty deterrent if it happens to charge. Though they're not necessarily for battle. The horns are mostly for show, for finding a mate. I would assume that the bigger the horns, the more nutrients it can invest, and the much more attractive it is to a potential suitor. Okay, if we have the brain of the goat head, we'll need to link the other two by long nerves. This will make the vision from them much slower. The lion head would be more akin to a hand or leg, and slower snake head much worse. After that, do we still need to link the digestive system to each head? Nope. The Chimera only needs one mouth, so which one? I would say the lion head. It has the teeth for eating meat. It could be possible the goat head is capable of munching on grass with its teeth, but it could spit it out all that plant matter and then let the lion head do the swallowing. No need for it to have an esophagus there. So what does the goat head do? Look pretty? No. It does the breathing and prevents choking on bones. That leaves the snake head. It could be the one which issues forth the poisonous gas. But that could also come from the other heads, depending on the system, but unlikely. First off, what is the poison? When I spoke of giant serpents, I talked of all the different kinds of poisons. But the type of poison used by the Chimera is already known. It is corrosive to tissue, a necrotoxin possibly, or a weaponized version of its stomach acid. If it is the poison, it will need two glands. One to make the toxic liquid, while the other stores air which can be used to help project and convert the poison into an aerosol form. If it is the stomach acid, a muscular alteration will need to be made to expel the stomach contents. Having an air gun would also assist with this in the same way. Regardless of which form of delivery it has, you'll need to coat the esophagus in a heavy mucus to prevent corrosion of the digestive tract. Could the snake be used to deliver the poison, though? Since the snake won't need its digestive tract, could it be replaced with a poison delivery system? Yes, but the long length of the snake tail will increase the resistance for pushing the poison through. Thus, I would go for the lion or the goat head for the poison attack. Particularly the lion if it is the stomach acid used. Lastly, the Chimera will need to be immune to its own poison. This is a simple feat for most animals, so nothing too extravagant. The Chimera of legend was bested by the first generation of Greek heroes, Bellerophon. How? Well, first, he got help. He was the one who rode the Pegasus into battle. Doing so let him stay above the Chimera's poisonous gas. From here you can use a bow or ranged spells. Or you can do what Bellerophon did in his battle against the Amazons, and just drop some really big boulders. Yeah, this was slow, but it is the safest, and I like that. So, do you have a Pegasus? Or a Griffin? Or a flying airship? Or a levitation spell? Or... oh, no? Great. I guess, let's dig a hole. Set a spike trap. I know this will be time consuming, and you'll need to fell enough trees and shape them into spikes, but hey, would you rather face a poisonous monster in battle, or spend a couple of hours with a shovel, then bait it into it? Right? Yeah, me too. But you don't have time. Of course not. You got ambushed. What do you do? What do you do? First problem is the poisonous gas. One breath of that, and you're dead. If you have antidotes, perfect. But you didn't prepare. The corrosive poison will go through most clothes and leather armor. If not instantly, it'll linger and get you. Clay won't stop the gas from filtering through it, and some will even react with the metal, corroding it. Overall, it's best to avoid getting hit by the poison. Wind spells can be used to blow the gas away. Just be careful where you blow it. Only a fool would send it into an ally or into a civilian they're trying to protect. Be careful using fire. Some fire spells will cause that cloud to explode, which could kill you. The ice and water spells, those work fine. Ice will turn the cloud to frost and reduce its movement. The other could wash away the cloud and make an opening. If you got a druid, a rain spell may render all of its attacks pointless. Just watch out for where the poison washes up, and don't step in it. You'll need a lot of water to dilute the poison to be harmless. Once you've got the poison cloud out of the way, let's shut it down. This is where you'll need to know where the gas is coming from. Use a lasso to tie up that neck and restrain them. If not, a slash through the tissue would weaken it, or maybe make the gas go off in the wrong direction. Be careful. But better yet, go for the chest, the heart and lungs. Those are your targets, as always. Focus on them. The chimeras are difficult. Their poison is not to be ignored. That is their most feared weapon, more so than their claws or bites. Once you've overcome that attack, you can win. For that one ability alone, I have to give the Chimera a 6 out of 10 battle, but I can't go any higher because it is a one-trick goat. Huzzah! You've escaped the poisonous gas in the claws of the Chimera. Time to divvy up the remains. First, you'll need to clean off any poison that lingers on the hide. Wash it thoroughly. You don't want to lose the Chimera after you've killed it. That'd be insulting. The other is your first prize. Their hides are thick and perfect for making shields, armor, and wrapping up your weapons. You can pull the sinew from the muscles to sew together clothes, or make some bowstrings. You can actually eat their meat. It has a bit of a bitter, gamey flavor, and it's a little fatty, but some people like that. While dangerous to collect, poison glands can be harvested to coat your weapons, or let loose on a foe. Can you imagine it? Bandits rush you only for you to chuck a lump of chimera flesh which explodes into a poisonous gas cloud on them? Oh, good times indeed. Lastly, potions. Lots and lots of potions. The poison can be used to make antidotes. That mucus in the esophagus, it can be used to make some powerful potions for resistance. Very nice, wouldn't you agree? But what if you don't kill the Chimera? Difficult, but it is possible. If you got a ranger or a druid, you may tame and ride the Chimera. Definitely a powerful ally in a fight, but not good in tight quarters, so leave it out of any dungeon crawling you do. Chimera allowed another blast of corrosive green gas. It was Kurt who acted. Tucked in his bag was something he had gotten while in town. The last of his coins he had hidden in his boot had been spent preparing for what every monster was going to come after him next. Yes, he knew he could no longer rely on Grant to fight every horror which awaited him on his path. Kurt was no word, neither was he a mage. But there was something he was, a merchant. He had connections, old favors to pull out. What were those favors? Magic scrolls. Single sheets of paper imbued with a single spell. Unfurling a scroll, he cast the spell. The paper glowed with the magic within as it unleashed its power before turning to ash. It wasn't powerful, but it was the right one. Wind ushered forth and turned the cloud back on the source. Harmless to the Chimera, but gave an opening to Julia that she needed. She rushed forth with her daggers. Faster, faster. Then the beast swung its paws with claws the size of knives. Only barely did she escape. Growling, she knew her blades were going to be too small for this beast. She needed something bigger. Hey, Grant, get in here! The big man hadn't moved yet. What was going on? Grunt! Kurt urged the man. It was the merchant's words that the man finally moved at. His blade trembled. No confidence. The demon slayer saw that. No time. The Chimera allowed another breath. Kurt raised another scroll, sent out a torrent of water to wash away the cloud. Go! Finally, the large man moved. His boots splashed through the mud as the Chimera lunged. Jumping up, he dodged the attack and brought his blade crashing down on the Chimera's neck, right behind the goat head. With a final gurgle and a roar, the beast went quiet. Adrenaline left their bodies as the water from the scroll washed away the poison. In silence, Julia and Kurt looked over at the mercenary, concern in their eyes. The Chimera really only has one powerful weapon, and you can get through it, aspiring adventurers. Thank you for watching. Please return next week where we should be meeting up with the Lizardmen. Until then, stay safe.